Both a birthday and an anniversary were celebrated this month at historic Sleepy Hollow Cemetery. The gathering there commemorated the birthday of author Washington Irving among the famous people buried in the cemetery, and also heralded the 160th anniversary of the cemetery itself. Irving, whose long ago story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow with its Headless Horseman, helped bring early attention to the Tarrytown area. Local office holders and a good crowd were on hand for the occasion.
I'm Howard Cohen, and on behalf of Sleepy Hollow Cemetery and our Board of Directors, I'd like to welcome you to our 160th anniversary celebration. More than just an eternal resting place, we are one of New York State's most visited destinations, where people come to study history, wildlife, art, and to reflect.
Well, everyone has a piece of Washington Irving, and we like to say that he lived at Sunnyside, but he prayed at Christ Church. I'm the priest at Christ Church, and Washington Irving came to our church. He was about 54 years old when that church was being built and founded. He was one of our first vestrymen.
I'd also like to welcome Reverend Jeff Gargano, minister of the Reformed Church of the Tarrytowns and of the Old Dutch Church, which you may have passed on the way into the cemetery. Reverend Gargano. I'd like to call upon historian Henry Steiner.
Hi, I'm Henry Steiner. I've been the village historian in Sleepy Hollow for about 13, 14 years now, and I'm a great fan of Washington Irving. It was also his custom to ride with guests from Sunnyside to Sleepy Hollow and enjoy the beautiful scenery. No doubt these excursions took him very close to this very spot that we're standing on. We can still partake in Washington Irving's enjoyment of the same scenery thanks in large part to the incorporation of this cemetery 160 years ago.
Now in just a little while you'll actually be able to go to the very spot that Washington Irving spoke of in that letter. But right now I'd like to call upon Kyle McGovern.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. On behalf of the board and the staff, I want to welcome you to this spectacular day that we had. And Henry, that was really just a great piece of history you gave us. I just want to recognize some of our dignitaries here today who've taken their time out of their busy schedules to be with us. We do appreciate it. I'd first like to recognize New York State Assemblywoman Sandra Gaylor. Westchester County Legislature, John Nono. Village of Sleepy Hollow Mayor, Kenneth Ray. And the Village of Tarrytown, my hometown's mayor, Drew Fixell. New York State Senator, Andrea Stewart Cousins. I'd also like to recognize New York State Senator Susie Oppenheimer. And from the Village of Ossining, Mayor William Ha Nauer.
Whereas the town of Mount Pleasant is proud of its history and recognizes the great contributions Sleepy Hollow Cemetery has made to the greater Hudson River community, I, Joan A. Mayberry, supervisor of the town of Mount Pleasant, join with all gathered here to extend gratitude and recognize the enormous contributions made by the historic Sleepy Hollow Cemetery from generation to generation, and we certainly wish you well into the future.
I want to give the cemetery a whole day. Sunday, April 4th is being Sleepy Hollow Cemetery Day, and the text of this proclamation be carried throughout the county to demonstrate the high value this historic landmark represents to our community. Thank you.
Hi, it's wonderful to be here. I'm joined with by my colleague, Senator Oppenheimer. And like my colleagues before, I have never had the privilege of honoring a cemetery.
And therefore, be it resolved that Andrea and Susie, it doesn't say it that way, recognize the rich history and significant contributions of the Sleepy Hollow Cemetery and join with the residents of the 35th District and the 37th Senate District and all of New York State to proclaim this day, Saturday, April 3, 2010 as Sleepy Hollow Cemetery Day. So that is in New York State.
Thank you, Senator Stewart-Cousins and Senator Oppenheimer. So I'm going to ask the Mayor of Tarrytown, Drew Fixell, to come up. Please give a few words.
Thank you, Kyle. We're so blessed to live in this area, have all these resources that we have. And Sleepy Hollow Cemetery is certainly one of the key sites that we have. And I have to say that it's great. This is one of your best neighbors to have. They are
Quiet.
It's very quiet. It's beautiful. Whereas Sleepy Hollow Cemetery provides our communities with unmatched and irreplaceable historical, cultural, and natural benefits. I, Drew Fixell, Mayor of Tarrytown, declare April 3rd, 2010, Sleepy Hollow Cemetery Day in the village of Tarrytown. Thank you.
I'd like to have the Village of Sleepy Hollow Mayor Kenneth Ray.
Good morning or afternoon, a sweet Pesach and happy Easter to all who observe, and welcome to Sleepy Hollow. I'm not exactly sure what Drew meant about the living residents of Sleepy Hollow, but I want to wish the cemetery a happy birthday. I'd like to say I plan on being here 160 years from now in the flesh to wish you again. And it's also my pleasure to, on behalf of the village trustees in Sleepy Hollow, to declare this Sleepy Hollow Cemetery in the village of Sleepy Hollow. Thank you very much.
That infamous man of letters himself. Let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Diedrich Knickerbocker.
Indeed, certain of the most authentic historians of those parts who have been careful in collating and collecting the floating facts concerning this specter allege that the body of the trooper, having been buried in a churchyard, the ghost rods fall to the scene of battle in nightly quest of his head.
That's Mr. Ward Riley, a.k.a. Diedrich Knickerbocker. And if anybody wants his address, if he owes any money. And now I'd like to introduce the Hastings String Quartet, which they will regale you with the musical interlude. And now a few brief words from Cemetery President David Logan.
I just want to thank all of you for coming out on this beautiful day. Thank you, Lord, for making this day a beautiful day. And I would like to introduce to you our superintendent of Sleepy Hollow Cemetery, Andy Kupak. Are you there somewhere? I saw him out here a minute ago. Andy runs the day-to-day operations here at the office and in the cemetery grounds. Of course, any of you who have graves here, who have a problem with it, that's who you go to see. But Andy's doing a fine job. So thank you again for coming. And be sure to walk down to the southern part of the cemetery to see the Headless Horseman. He's here.
It's a pleasure to attend this wonderful event. Sleepy Hollow Cemetery is a marvelous member of our community, providing just wonderful cultural, historical, natural resources, and we're glad to have them as a neighbor.
They got a great day, and it's beautiful. Congratulations and happy birthday to the cemetery.
The cemetery, established in 1850, was recently included in New York State's Registry of Historic Places. Bob Kimmel for the Hudson Independent.